No, I don't smell. I
You already smell.
You smell like shit.
You're listening to What's the Deal, a podcast that's here to talk about the news, current events, and pop culture.
Tremendous impact.
And it's coming at you straight and unfiltered.
Believe me, folks. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
So kick back with your hosts, Josh and Joel, while they discuss on What's the Deal.
And we're live.
Week 2. Basic chick. Sign right there, week 2.
What's the Deal, episode 2. Last week was rough, getting through it. A lot of laughs, a lot of cuts. That's the first of this episode and the last one.
No. Bad.
I like to say I have a little joke. You ended with a bad joke, so
I know with a good joke.
It was a
If
bad
you guys
joke.
haven't heard
It was
my
a bad
joke, the fingering one, it's about a finger
Our
ring.
first episode,
really good.
I would say our first episode was a lot like losing your virginity. You start off lost, a bit uncomfortable, and then it ends abruptly and with a lot of laughs.
Jim?
Oh no. Oh no.
I said again. Crap.
You did
All right.
it.
I'm going to say it a lot less than 98 times this week.
69.
We actually structured it a little bit better this week. 69. We structured it a little bit better this week.
Hashtag Gronk.
As far as we do talk about Gronk in the show today. But we have some structure, some little beginning, middle remarks, closing. Every week we get a little bit better. And we'll start off this week with Shark Week. It's fucking Shark Week.
Fucking Shark Week.
Dad, what are you doing? It's Shark Week.
Comes out on 4. Liar.
No, I know you're lying.
No, you're lying.
Step Brothers, if you guys haven't seen it.
We'll get the clip in there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if we can find
The
it.
nutsack scene.
I'm gonna stab you in the neck with a knife. This week, Shark Week, they got a lot of celebrities. You had Shaq, Aaron Rodgers. I think Shark Tank did a hybrid where they got celebrities to pitch ideas to raise for
For Shark?
no,
Tank?
not for
Shark
sharks.
Week?
Shark Tank, they did a show to like raise awareness and funds for charities. That's the word I was looking for, charities. But the first one, did you see the one with Shaq? They made a
Saw a little bit of it.
custom cage.
he's
Talking,
massive.
it was like the biggest shark cage ever. It's like 12 feet tall, 6.5, 7 feet wide. And they made it with a little jalousie window, the ones that slide up and down. So it's a whole little, him getting ready, getting dressed. And they didn't take into account that when he got in the water and he opened the window, one of these little sharks got in there with him. And he panicked. He was like, shark, shark. They were pulling him out, getting him going. But as soon as he got out of the water, he's like, did you guys get that on camera? You guys fucking got it on camera? The shark beat a shark attack. And they got right back in. It was pure TV drama.
I love Shaq. I almost said Shark. He's perfect for it.
Oh, I think he just got his own cooking show.
I would watch it. I would
got his
definitely
own
watch it. I don't know
cooking
how
show.
good he'd be, but I mean, his meals must be massive.
Enormous.
7 foot, 300 pounds. I'm just pure diesel.
He's like 7'1". Yeah, he's kind of fat since he stopped playing.
No. I would definitely watch that show. I don't know about you guys.
No, the cooking show for sure is going to pop off with Shaq on it. But Shark Week was pulling all the strings. Because I haven't really heard much about Shark Week. In the last couple of years, it comes around, but I didn't really hear
They've
much
been
about
doing
it.
it in a few years now, right?
No, it's been
Like
going on.
8 years?
It's been going on for a while.
60 years?
Yeah, it's been going on for a couple decades, I think.
60 years they've been doing Shark Week. 30 years they've been shooting Shark Week.
TV didn't really get that prominent over like the past couple
30
decades.
years they've been doing Shark Week.
Yeah, it's been a couple decades. I want to say since the 70s or 80s.
How do they make that much money?
Well, they get a full weeks of coverage, a lot of sponsors, advertisers as like the boom went up and people started watching TV.
What?
Yeah, I looked it up when I was looking up the notes. Since I want to say like late 70s is when they started
You know,
Shark
wrong.
Week.
Sharks are cool and all, but 30 years of Shark Week?
Well, I don't
We're in the wrong business.
I don't
Let's
fuck with sharks or the beach.
let's do Gator Weekend, where we just go to the Everglades and just mess with gators. I got some people.
Oh, like those people that you mentioned that they wrestle gators for fun. They're like they're 12 years old.
I know some guy.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's like white people stuff.
Well, speaking of white people, the lady, what was it, like in North Florida? She's walking and a gator came out of nowhere and ate her.
I know.
That was crazy.
I should have got on the dog. I mean,
Oh, there was, yeah. She was walking a dog and the gator came out and instead of the dog, it literally swallowed her. It ate her up. And then you have these same
That
crazy
must have been
people.
a small woman or a massive gator.
Oh, there's gators are like 20 something feet long.
Yeah, we've actually had a lot of gator like that. The Disney World had that kid.
Which one was that?
Yeah, last year. A kid from Disney World. They were walking by a lake. Like, not necessarily in Disney World. It was one of their like complexes outside or resorts that's connected to the Disney name. And a kid got swooped up by a gator, and they took him into the lake, and they never found him.
Oh,
yeah.
Didn't they find them like a week later or something? They never found them.
Like that.
I thought they found them like a while later. Yeah. There's countless stories like that, and then you have these crazy dudes that like, let's go to the Everglades and start like.
All right, so shark or gator? What's more scary?
Shark, 1,000%. You're in the water, paddling, like treading water. You are fucked. Like, you're not out swimming a shark. A gator's on the ground. You might get lucky, zigzag, hit it with something. You're on your feet.
Yeah.
Mobile.
Hit us in the comments. Shark or gator? What's more scary? Give us why. We want science. Give us facts.
What's that? Facts. But yeah, no, I'll take a gator any day over a shark. Continuing with shark, you had Aaron Rodgers chose shark over a gator because he apparently stiff-armed a shark.
Ayuki! I love it.
Ayuki! No, what?
There's a meme coming for that for sure.
Why would you stiff-arm a shark? I'm sure they picked one that like doesn't bite or like there's a bunch of science. I don't know anything about sharks, but he probably picked one that.
Well, he's got that golden arm. Man. He's for sure.
Yeah, I think he stiff-armed it with his throwing arm.
How pissed would the Packers be if Aaron Rodgers has his hand bitten off? First quarterback in history to have his hand bitten off. But then watch, he comes back with a bionic arm. He's the first Terminator
and
quarterback.
Everybody's like yelling and screaming.
For 6,000
well, you have the AI technology now with like AI robots being citizens in Saudi Arabia. They're going to get a hand, put it in there, connect it, some crazy futuristic crap, and he's going to kill it.
Have you guys ever seen that video of that guy? He's trying to introduce, I have this new arm, and then he like turns it on. It's like,
c'est la 2. Oui, attendez, parce que...
It's on live.
So perfect.
It's on like live daytime television, and he's like getting interviewed, and he turns it on, and it starts jerking off, and he's trying to turn it off, and the reporter's like,
That's gonna be Aaron Rodgers. Well, if he would have gotten his hand bitten off, I love Aaron.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's just so stupid. You don't stiff arm with your throwing arm. Like Shark Week had all these celebrities coming out, but probably one of the more memorable like hybrid things that they did is they did Shark Week theme for Shark Tank. The investor show with Mark Cuban, the bald guy, and the lady that owns QVC, that they do like angel investing. They invite celebrities over and they pitch certain ideas, and then some of the proceeds go to like charities or some crap. But one of the more interesting ones is the Gronk family. Rob Gronkowski and all his brothers, they came on.
A lot of guys I love today, huh?
It's starting off with Shaq, Gronk. Like all these guys were killing it in Shark Week, getting free pub. And the Gronkowski brother, his brother Chris, actually came up with a pretty cool idea, which I'm sure is going to sell because of the family name. It's basically protein shaker that's stainless steel, and it has like the Gronk name on it. They're all fighting for it. And he says, look, I don't need money. I'll just go to Rob Gronkowski to get money. He was looking for connections. Long story short, he ended up with A-Rod, baseball king, Mark Cuban, owner of the basketball Mavericks, and they're going to sell hundreds and thousands of these shakers in a blink of an eye.
I mean, I don't know how many old women buy shakers on QVC, because like QVC lady would have been great.
No.
But A-Rod?
A-Rod and Mark Cuban, they're going to push it amongst all the athletes. They're going to be endorsing
how
it.
How paid is A-Rod right now? Is he that rich? Well, I know he's got like that $300 million contract.
He was the first one to sign the $200+ million contract with he signed with Texas Rangers, $250 million. And then he got out of that contract. They kind of like did a no void thing.
So is he almost
went to
a
New York and
billionaire?
signed another $250.
He's almost a billionaire to be able to invest like that.
I don't know about almost a billionaire. He
well,
did
with
sign
J-Lo, for sure. Both of them are.
Oh, between him and J-Lo, they have crazy bank because I know he signed two $250 million contracts with the Rangers and with the Yankees. But they have stupid money. Just their connections are going to leverage that like crazy. So the Shark Week stuff was pretty interesting. Not enough for me to sit all day on the couch watching. I'm sure nobody actually watched like the science crap. Like, okay, the shark swims 40 miles per hour and it gets its prey.
Which that would actually be pretty cool.
The most interesting shit, probably people just tune in to get the TMZ. Oh, this guy stiff-armed the shark or some stuff like that. And nobody watches. Like our stepdad will probably sit there for 12 hours watching it.
I just can't sit down and watch TV that long.
You know what was really cool about it? The Shark Week that I saw, and I know I don't have a mic again,
Yeah.
Okay,
Somebody send us a mic, like, please.
Yeah, not the guy.
But was the
Magic mic.
was the shark cam? That is.
They put it on the
camera
shark.
on the shark.
It's a little device that swims in the water and follows the shark.
Oh, it follows a shark.
Oh, that's
follows
cool.
what they see.
Oh, that's pretty
They
cool.
have even shots of the shark.
Like biting other people. I mean, biting other fish and stuff.
What?
The cam
Oh, the shark gets inside the camera.
bites the camera.
And the prey is shark cam.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, that's like one of the coolest things.
See, if I could get
So
like
if it swallows it, do you still get the
you
footage?
see like the inside, like Jonah and the whale.
Well, it's not like actually coming at you. Just you see from the outside of the little device the shark.
Oh, it's not like a POV. It's like kind of like a.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, if
It's like
somebody
a water drone.
somebody on YouTube needs to like accumulate all the footage from Shark Week and get the most interesting shit and just put it in like in a condensed 1 hour
They
thing.
always do that.
Somebody needs to do that because I will watch that. That's interesting. But aside from like the Shark Week stuff, which was like just quick nuggets, you had some crazy, outrageous takes, kind of like in the semi-political cultural sector. We actually talked last week about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, aka Cusco. And she was at it again with a quick clip. We're actually gonna listen to it right now, so you guys could take a listen.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be hopping on here, Senator Sanders' account, and we're here in Kansas City to rally for Brent Welder. We're gonna flip this seat red in November.
What?
Yeah, as red as Bernie's face.
That guy was in the back so uncomfortable. Like,
Oh my God.
what did you just say?
Poor girl. Poor girl.
For those of you that don't realize,
Red Republican, left liberal, blue. That's how you remember it.
blue is Democrat.
Oh, you're facing me. I don't know how to draw the R. But reds are Republican, blue is the Democrats.
So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders went out to Kansas to help other people that are pursuing these congressional district seats kind of start their own grassroots movement, get elected, really fight back, because you have the Republicans that pretty much dominate both the House and the Senate. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these, more local levels of government. So they're trying to fight back. And she made one of the biggest blunders right after her firing line interview, where
she made another blunder.
Yeah, the unemployment, the whole Israeli-Palestine. Then she goes, not even 24 hours later, I think, or 48 hours, she says we're going to flip the seat red.
Oh, my God.
And everybody had a field day. Side note for you conspiracy theorists, because I know you are, you're semi. The color red also gets associated with communism, which is like a very close linkage to socialism. So you had everybody in the internet, like the Reddits of the world, those places like, oh, red, she said red. Is it like a hidden thing for...
I don't know.
Super stretch.
I think, especially from the interview before, this was definitely
just a absent mind thing.
Man, that's embarrassing.
Super embarrassing.
Because that's probably he should have won the Democratic nominee last year, and he's a very big favorite for this year. And
scandal.
She's trying to create that.
The funniest thing is, I'm not sure if it was live or not. If it wasn't live, why didn't any of them replay the video and not publish it?
No, it had to have been live.
It had to have been live. Because if that's like, okay, we're done shooting, then we're gonna post on a Facebook after saying
no, they had to have noticed that.
I really hope that was like Facebook Live.
Yeah, no way that either senators didn't figure that out.
Because that would be hilarious. I'm hoping she gets a break and like stays like a week outside the news cycle, because the way she's going, I don't know how she could top that.
Well, I know Republicans don't want that, because everybody was saying this is the new future thought leader of the party, and boy, did they have to put their feet in their mouth.
Both feet in their mouth.
Not foot, feet.
The next outrageous take of last week was an interesting one. The new thing is thin privilege. This all kind of started with a lady who went with a group of friends. She went to, what was it, Universal? Yeah, it's Universal, where the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the ride.
In Orlando?
In Orlando. Was it Orlando? It might have been Orlando.
Let me guess, she didn't fit. Get out of here.
The lady's name is Jana Schmiedling, from A Woman of...
Schmieder.
She has her own podcast called Woman of Size.
No, that's a woman of damn. Gabriel Iglesias. Have you ever seen? Yeah. There's what are the sizes?
Oh, the 5 sizes.
Big, fat,
fluffy.
Damn, and oh hell no.
Oh hell no. When they're in the elevator, and you're like, oh hell no.
You see walking towards your elevator. Oh hell no.
So this lady went with a group of friends to the amusement park, and they were gonna get on the Wizarding World of Harry Potter ride. She was already warned by another, I think, plus size friend, like, hey, you can have some problems getting on the ride. She ignored it. They went on. Right when they get to the front, they pulled her aside and said, okay, we want you to do a seatbelt test, like just to see if it clicks. Only one of the clicks. You needed all 3 to click. So they pulled her aside. She couldn't ride it. So she set her account on the Huffington Post, which then turned.
God, I've seen some articles on the Huffington Post that are just
way out there. Agreed. But another writer named Cora Harrington, she has her own blog called The Lingerie Addict. She went on a huge Twitter rant talking about
in favor or
no, in favor, like
in
supporting
favor of
the whole schmeedling, kind of like a Schmeagol.
The Schmeeders.
It's called Schmeagol from
no, that's Smeagol.
Smeagol. Precious, my hamburger. So
perfect.
So she went on a huge rant, basically saying that this thin privilege, you don't know what it's like to be fat shamed if you could like walk into a store and find any size you want as far as clothing.
Isn't there like 3XL?
There's
4XL.
I walk into Macy's, I found a 4XL. So she says, if you could,
I mean, if you can't find your size in a store and it's bigger than 4XL, you need to be shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond and get sheets. Because
like you're going camping?
4XL? Have you seen how big 4XL is?
It's huge.
I mean,
what I don't understand is it's one thing to like, okay, don't be rude to people who are going through these obese issues and like, you know, that
some of them do have.
But then you have other ones that they try to flip the narrative. She basically said, you have thin privilege if you could shop without finding your stuff. And she says thinness isn't a feeling. She said, if other people perceive you as thin, you are thin. If you are able to walk into any clothing store and expect to see a wide range of options in your size, you are thin. So she goes on to say things that, you know, if it factors into your pay raises, your job qualifications, all those type of things, your perceived thinness.
Well, I think that does have a factor in a lot of fields, not every field, because you're not going to work at Hooters if you're wearing a 3XL, sure. But I mean, if you're a very intelligent accountant, don't matter your size, you're going to get a raise. So
in most fields that aren't performance-based as far as your body, like athletic performance or having to move, your weight's not going to matter as far as being hired. Now, you have my whole issue with the thing is there's so many diseases and illnesses and stuff that are related to obesity. So, yeah, people can make jokes that are lighthearted or that are rude in nature as far as obesity or fat shaming, whatever you want to call it. But if the fact that people have to conform the entire world's specifications and order to pertain to these people who are 400, 500, 600 pounds, extremely overweight or morbidly obese, like you expect like Harry Potter's Wizarding World to make a roller coaster that could fit 30, 50, 100, 500 pound people? Like, do the math. Like, that roller coaster is not going to be done.
It won't be able to.
You can't
do certain speeds.
You can't do certain speeds, certain types of movements.
Basic engineering physics doesn't allow you. Simply put, we are in a day and age that they are, I want to say they as in different groups, are fighting for such a small portion that is affected that everyone has to conform to that small portion. So the minority of 500, 600, 700 pound people, they want the world to change for them versus the majority of the people who don't fit into the obese or morbidly obese people. So let's say now we have to create every doorway to be for people who are 7 feet tall, because we have people who are 7 feet tall. So, because Shaquille O'Neal that we were just speaking about has to duck below every single door.
Your standard doorway is 84, 7 feet.
There's height privilege. No, you cannot accommodate every single person on this planet, because we're all different, and that's a blessing. That we're all different.
Oh, and it's a double-edged sword. I think we have some topics that kind of fall down that rabbit hole later. How when you pursue too much conformity for these minority type privileges, then it could come back and bite you around. It doesn't matter what side of the media or what side of political thinking you land on, left, right, center, indifferent, whatever. But just to finish up this outrageous take segment, the last one is probably equally outrageous. You have, on the theme of congressional district nominees, Scott Wallace, who's running for first congressional district over in Pennsylvania. He is a population control advocate who believes that we should tax families who have more than 2 kids due to quote unquote irresponsible breeding.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
You look at number 3 and 4, so
yeah,
we would have gotten our parents taxed.
That makes no sense. It makes no sense because there has yet to be a group of scientists that prove population is the main factor to global warming. And they can't even definitively prove that global warming is in a cataclysmic stage right now.
I think aside from global warming, I think they also talk about resources, land resources, food, being able to...
But look at the new GMOs. People are pro-GMOs, people are against GMOs, but that is a factor that helps with
I want to say it was a Joe Rogan podcast. I think he had a guest on there and this topic came up. I think they said that we can fit the entire population of the world housing in Texas. With all the land that's in Texas, the land size.
Give me a break.
Everybody could squeeze into Texas and be housed.
That's just a way of controlling.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, there's data that shows that we're actually in a population decline. There's less of the millennials.
Less procreation.
The next generation, Z, right? That are going to have as many kids as our parents or grandparents. And that's why there's a problem with, Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, because there's not going to be as many people covering the taxes to be able to cover these social programs. But we're having less kids as it is. So now he wants to tax people.
Oh, look what's going on in China.
They've been doing that for
decades. And the Communist Party in China, you have one kid. And it has to be a boy. You have a girl as your first kid. It doesn't have
to be a boy. But no, culturally, they like boys because they work.
If you have a girl, they allow you to have a second child so you could get the boy.
Yeah.
But they promote boys over in China. So who's to say that once you give them the finger, they're going to want the hand, they're going to want the arm. It's going to lead down a very dark road that a lot of people don't want to go down. So that's just irresponsible breeding. That's just irresponsible,
policy. Who is it for the government to decide, right, what we do with our bodies for abortion, and yet they are now deciding how many kids we can have? So isn't that contradictory?
Yeah.
You want to say you can't tell me what I can do with my body, right? Therefore, I should have an abortion. But yet the same side says that we have to control how many kids you have. So therefore, they're controlling your body.
It's flawed. There's flawed logic all around. It's like you said. It's just a way of controlling the masses. And you go down a deep, deep thought about right infringement and all that stuff. But it's just one, link in the chain of trying to control the masses little by little. Which is ironic. We were talking earlier about, not only control. We're talking about privileged groups and minorities trying to conform. I think all of that kind of ties into where we've been going down that road for the last couple of years. And that kind of leads us to where we were earlier this week with James Gunn, the director of one of our favorite movies, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Amazing.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
One of the best, if not the best, Marvel movies.
No, funniest. Guardians 1 and Guardians 2. Hilarious. But he got himself on some flack because if you guys haven't been following the media cycles as of recently, whenever you say anything in the media or out in Twitter, Instagram, your opinion, and it doesn't really conform to the societal narrative at the time, you will get flacked. You'll get boycotted. You'll get run out of your business, whether it's Hollywood or whatever. There's been a lot of cases of people that could say whether center or conservative views that they get run out of town, whether they live in Hollywood or whatever. And now you have cases of people who are on the left side of the political leaning, like James Gunn, who he's been or in Hollywood in general, that are getting the backlash of the same outrage culture. So years ago, he used to have his own blog. He used to say a lot of jokes on Twitter. I'm going to read a couple of them out to you. For those of you that don't know, he was fired from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as a director for vulgar, distasteful comments and jokes he said on Twitter. So Disney production fired him. So I'm going to read you a couple of the jokes and stuff that he said. And then
on his Twitter.
Oh, yeah, on his Twitter.
Or his blog.
On his Twitter. There's something from the blog that I'll read later, but on his Twitter, he said, this was dated June 10th, 2008. Laughter is the best medicine. That's why I laugh at people with AIDS.
Sorry. That's terrible.
That's awful. That's awful. It's some dark humor, but no, I'll read you another one. I want to go big game hunting, but no, it's morally questionable. So I'm going to split the difference and go big game raping.
Oh my God.
Where does that split the difference?
Damn.
Last one. Just made a joke about ass raping my friend when she was asleep.
So, especially with the Me Too movement. Yeah.
Dark ass jokes. Yeah, the Me Too movement.
Why would you tweet this?
This is all back in 08, 09.
How old is he?
I don't know.
Is he like a mid-30s guy? That he was a young cat at this point?
But look at the political climate 10 years ago. People on all sides, I don't care what you associate with as far as politically, you were allowed to say jokes, bad and different, whatever. And people didn't get outraged about it. Fast forward now, and everything's going to be dug up. Oh, you said this when you're 18. This is how you feel now. And people were getting attacked on the right. People were getting attacked on the left. So it's just going to be a reactionary war back and forth. So now something he said years ago is going to come back and cost him his livelihood and his job, which is, it's brought about a lot of support from his fellow actors that work with him and people.
He was on the top of the food chain right now.
He's 52. So that means 10 years ago he was in his 40s.
Yeah, so there's not an excuse of adolescence or immaturity.
But here's what I'm saying. Like, I'm an advocate for dark humor. We have pretty fucked up senses of humor. I don't know about going that far or whatever, but people that know us know that we like to push the line.
Yeah.
However, we're living in a day and age now where this outrage culture about, we talked about earlier, thin privilege, you have identity politics with other pronouns. We're both minorities as far as Hispanics, but Latinos, but we're males. So then we land on the whole male privilege. So there you have all these people being divided where people are getting offended. So now if one group gets offended, the other group of people has to label themselves and attack to defend themselves. Where we get to the point now where you have a director that 10 years ago said some shitty jokes and he's getting fired over it. But people in Hollywood are starting to realize
I understand the justification of Disney, especially with now the whole Me Too movement, like you said, and Disney being a private corporation, technically they can lawfully fire him without, I think they're based in Florida, so it's a no-fault state, so they can fire whoever they want if they're based out of here. No, if you guys don't know,
I'm sure since it affects their bottom line and they could just fire him for that period.
Yeah.
Private entity.
Excuse me. It stinks that people are now being, I want to say, closely guarded with their words. They have to be careful because they don't know who they're going to offend. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is like line and then he's past it, but
he crossed the line multiple
lines are all different, and now we're all retreating our lines, and eventually there is going to be no line. It's going to be like, you have to watch what you say.
Oh, it's that you have a lot of celebrities that are refraining from Twitter. You have a lot of people deleting their Twitter accounts and Facebook because this outrage culture of just lashing out at people who don't agree with you, being offended too easily and trying to attack people and literally destroy people's lives over being choosing to be offended. Now you're at a point where people are going to stop wanting to communicate. People are going to stop wanting to put themselves out there. And you have these social media companies. I think Twitter's stock price dropped from $43 to $35 this week. That's almost a 20% drop. You have
Facebook lost how many billion?
Facebook lost, I think,
100
something billion. Zuckerberg alone lost $20 billion worth of stock in Facebook. People, that's a whole other thing with the whole privacy
$20
and other scandals.
$20 billion.
Yeah, that has to do with a lot of the privacy things that are going on with Facebook. But who's to say that a lot of this type of exchange that is being scrutinized and attacked has to do with it as well? People are just leaving social media, they want to put themselves in that position to get fired from their job, to get, singled out and attacked by this offended mob, and just people are going after them. But this has been going on for a while, and this is probably one of the first people that are kind of in Hollywood to be a victim of this whole offended outrage culture and get fired over it.
When it comes to the words?
When it comes to the words, when it comes to like saying words and things like that. I mean, recently you had Joy Behar on The View.
She wasn't fired.
She wasn't fired. This is like talking about how you've had people that in the Hollywood.
She had like homosexual slurs, right?
No, I think you're talking about Joy Reid. Joy Behar is an older middle-aged woman on The View with Whoopi Goldberg, the morning television. What she said, they were talking about religion and Christianity. And she said, talking to Jesus is one thing, but acknowledging that Jesus talks back to you is a sign of mental illness. So she just claimed that whole religious sect of people.
She graduated
mentally
with
ill.
psychology masters, right?
I'm not sure.
No, I'm totally bullshitting. She did not.
So that you have Alec Baldwin, who for years has countless allegations, and some of them have been, filmed of anti-gay slurs, racial slurs, things like that. The Joy Reid, I think, is the one they were talking about, where she had anti-gay writings. So there's dozens of stories of people on the left who have this type of rhetoric and allegations on their name of doing not only jokes, but anti-gay slurs, these type of very offensive type rhetoric, and nothing's happened to them. So James Gunn is one of the first to go down, where, okay, you had a lot of people being attacked by this lynch mob of the offensive culture. One of the Hollywood, people gets taken down by the same mob, and now you have a petition of 260,000 last time I checked. 260,000 people signed a petition for James Gunn to get his job back, including the Drax actor Dave Bautista, a couple other actors from there.
Because they know his character, and that's a big part of knowing where the joke resides. Of the person's character, who they are morally, or you won't be able to know unless you know them personally. But that's why a person like Drax, who Dave Bautista is a pretty big Hollywood celebrity, and he was fighting for that job because he knows maybe James Gunn. I mean, I don't know him, but he knows James Gunn as a person, and he thinks he's a great guy, and he was just saying twisted jokes. Yeah,
but so who gets to decide what's said on Twitter gets to be considered a bad joke or something that's not fireable?
No one should. My opinion, no one should.
It shouldn't.
No one should. Because if you offend me, or you offend my ethnicity, you offend my looks, you offend... People can comment on this YouTube video and say, this guy's an ugly, bald guy.
Well, people are going to say that we're ignorant, that we're this, we're that.
Cool.
And that's their opinion.
Their right. That is
of course,
their...
1,000%. But then you have people like... that flipped aside when Laura Ingraham said that David Hogg was sounding whiny when he was complaining about universities.
I didn't want her fired.
Yeah, he was saying that universities were kind of looking over him and his resume. Yeah. And Laura Ingraham said that he was sounding whiny. He launched a massive boycott campaign. I think it resulted in 15 of her Laura and advertisers dropping out. She still maintained a bulk of her advertisers. But it was a huge campaign to get her fired, get her removed from Twitter, silence her. So that's just one of...
And she got more viewers.
And she got more. So you have a bunch of people trying to silence and fire and boycott people that they don't agree with. But then in cases like James Gunn, who... I'm of the same sentiment as you. Listen, a bad joke's a bad joke. I don't care, what you say, as long as your actions aren't really following up on it, as long as it's not pure hatred or something that can incite violence, go for it.
Even if you do hate, as long as it doesn't promote violence, that's my opinion. You can hate me, but as long as you don't threaten my life or the life of others, hate me all you want.
That's something.
All I do is have a nice day.
And the middle finger. And you get a funny cup. That's something that hopefully, we were actually watching episode 1 with our friends yesterday, and it sparked a great conversation about not only politics and other key views and points that really don't get talked about amongst people nowadays, especially amongst our age demographic. So I think once we start having these type of conversations and realizing okay, I don't want to get fired over saying something, an opinion, a joke or whatever. I want to be able to express myself and not get silenced. Then we could get to a point where we can grow as a society and say, okay, you know what? I hear you out. Whether you feel like people should be treated this certain way, or people should get paid this amount, or people should receive this type of benefits, or people should be able to do this with their lives and have, this type of autonomy over themselves and their property, whatever. Once you start being able to have those conversations and tone down the offense meter and start to hear people out, I think the society will grow as a whole. But we're too busy covering our ears and just getting ready to throw punches.
It's almost like we've brought back the days of Socrates and Plato and Aristotle. If anybody has ever read them, they know that is one of the main reasons why Socrates was killed. He, along with other philosophers, pushed the limit, right, of questions. Where do our morals come from? Where is virtue? What is virtue? And so on and so on and so on. And it got to the point where he asked too deep of questions, and the populace, he ended up dying for it. He ended up dying because they had a trial, and they said that what he was doing was detrimental to the society by asking questions. So it's getting to that point where people are saying we are pushing the line and asking certain questions that are detrimental to society. So they can't legally kill us anymore. So what they're doing is they're trying to silence us.
Oh, that's what we talked about episode 1 as far as trying to deem extremist content, what's going on in Europe as far as taking away First Amendment rights, which is the freedom of speech. All these things are a type of way to control the masses, silence them so they could go along with your agenda. And I think the mainstream media has a lot to do with that, as well as kind of doing some of, this government, the government's bidding in the sense of keeping us dulled and pulling the sheet over our eyes. Which it's unfortunate, hopefully the goal of our podcast will be to have conversations like this, get better, get more informed, because like we said, episode 1, we're semi-informed. We're reading, we're learning, having conversations with people.
I aspire to be of the intellectuals of our day and age, of the Thomas Sowells, of the Jordan Petersons, of the...
It's a very long road.
Minds, but those are older men that have grind, and I'll be happy if I become a quarter of what they've become.
But we're not going to get there if we just sit in this echo chamber and talk to each other.
Look at the TV and just...
No, you can't just,
mummify.
This echo chamber of us talking to people that we agree with all the time and just kind of further cementing our viewpoint, and we're never going to be able to branch out and expand and hear other people. That's why I love listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, where he brings on intellectuals like, the Sam Harris's, the Eric Weinstein's.
Bitches?
Yeah, what's up, freak bitches? I wanted to copy that, but I couldn't. But I really appreciate him because he has people like Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, all of north, center, right, conservative type speakers, as well as the left, the Kyle Kalinskis, the Sam Harris's, the Eric Weinsteins of the world. And he hears out everybody. And
I would ask questions.
Ask questions and learn. I actually expanded I expanded some of my thought on certain key issues listening to his podcast with Kyle Kalinske, who is a very young liberal thinker who, he, just like us, he's like 30 years old. He curses sometimes. He talks. He's casual, and hearing him talk, I don't necessarily agree with him on most of the stuff he says, but it challenged me to look at my point of view differently and just problem solve and realize, okay, things like minimum wage, things like immigration, stuff like that. How can I bridge this gap between liberals and conservatives, and meet in the middle? And it's challenging me as a person to think differently versus just sitting around
and have a conversation with someone.
Have a conversation.
Hopefully, eventually, what we had yesterday was with two people, I think, that were towards the left, and we had a conversation. We even said at the end that we still love them and they still love us, and they're great people, and we had a great conversation, I think. And we have some totally different views, but it wasn't that, oh, you think this way and F you. You know what? Oh, you voted for Trump? F you. You did this? F you.
You can't just shut that down.
Why do you think like that? What was your reasoning for this? And then we expand on that and figure out, okay, that's how you think. This is how I think. Maybe we can go and figure out way in the middle. It's trying not to convince the other person.
No.
I feel like people trying to convince someone from the other side is like someone born in Boston, someone born in New York, trying to say the Yankees and the Red Sox, who is better.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
that is literally what you're trying to do when you're convincing someone on the other side to come over to the Republican or Democrat side.
Oh, that's never going to happen. I think if we go into a conversation trying to listen, or if you go into a conversation trying to convince somebody, like a debate style, you're going to miss what's going on. Mm-hmm. If you walk in saying, okay, I just want to listen and have a conversation and, you know, not only say what I want to say, but actually hear their point of view, whether you agree with them or not, is going to force you to learn, expand your thoughts, and like do a mental workout. That's like going to the gym and lifting the same weight every time, doing the same workout. You're never going to grow.
Not me. I don't.
Put those baby pistols away.
Pew, pew. Pew, pew. Everybody going down.
Speaking of conversation, LeBron actually launched a series called The Shop on HBO, where he's sitting across OBJ, Draymond Green, Candace Parker, like high-profile athletes, and just talking about day-to-day stuff. So that actually has huge potential to positively influence and spark conversation amongst people who don't really tune into the political world. They don't tune into mainstream, politics, podcasts that talk about current events. We know a bunch of people that just rely on TMZ and E! News to see what's current with the Kardashians and stuff. So if you have these high-profile celebrities being real and talking about current issues, not from like a mainstream perspective of pushing some type of propaganda or pushing some type of narrative, but being real and questioning, okay, why is this the case? Like, what can we do about it? I think that would like bring this conversation and bring the growth to a whole new level. I just doubt they'll do that because nobody wants to receive the scrutiny of what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, they're going to stick to a script. They're going to stick to towards a neutral ground, especially. I mean, HBO, you can actually curse them. They'll push a little bit of limits, but they won't push it too far. I wonder if LeBron he fixed his hairline officially. So he's doing that all the time. Don't get me wrong. Coming from hairline issues myself, I hope he did.
I think when he went to LA, I think he touched it up again.
Yeah.
I think he touched it up again.
So, because if you keep getting those are some close-ups. So you think he's gonna get a haircut and some makeup on his hair before he gets a haircut?
Oh yeah, he'll draw the line. He'll do the whole thing. Yeah, for sure. I think he's holding on until science catches up and he'll just do like the full.
I think science already did. The cure for baldness is out there, guys.
You think the cure for baldness is out there and they haven't released it?
100%.
Why wouldn't they release it? That's a freaking gold mine.
The gold mine is the billions of dollars a year we spend on the shampoos, we spend on the lotions, we spend on the Rogaine, we spend on the Propecia pills, we spend on the micropigmentation, we spend on the stupid surgery
and I still buy shampoo and stuff like that.
Yeah, but there's that like special shampoo that helps you grow your hair and it's like $6 more. I'm telling you. The same way that
so you buy some expensive shampoo, the oil, the whole nine. I take care of my hair.
A cure for the common cold. Let's say there would be a cure for the common cold. Achoo! You got a cold, whatever. You take a Dayquil, you take a NyQuil. A couple days you're gone. If they were to give you a shot, right, that you would never have the cold again.
Oh, amazing! They wouldn't do it.
However, NyQuil will go out of business. Dayquil, Mucinex. A lot of these companies who thrive off us getting colds regularly will go out of business. So they don't want you technically to be cured.
But baldness, like the whole baldness thing, they'll just push you into another industry versus, hair loss prevention. They won't push you into the shampoo.
If there's a one shot to fix your baldness.
Do you use shampoo?
Body lotion. Well, now that I'm bald. Even before.
Bald people use conditioners and oils and shit. So
people who are balding, when I was balding, I used everything in the book.
No. But you're bald.
And that's why they made so much money.
Once you're bald.
Yeah, once I'm bald, they lost a customer.
Yeah.
And that's what they don't want. They want to keep me there long enough, just holding
I think the money's there, man. I think the money's there.
Guarantee you it's $1 billion industry. Multi-billion dollar. Billion. Hair, we'll go and look it up for the next podcast. Male pattern baldness. Products, $1 billion industry.
Whoa. I looked up how much is the bald industry worth, and I got how big is the porn industry.
Oh, what do you search?
Or how much does a bald eagle cost? What the fuck? I'm not clicking that. Till later. Moving forward. crazy from the bullshit. Nick Saban, for you guys that don't know, that's the coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Like the greatest college football coach who screwed over the Miami Dolphins. He still have done over it. Yeah, we hate him. Yeah, Nick Saban.
But he's loaded now. He just signed a contract extension through 2025, which increases his base salary to $7.5 million with an $800,000 signing bonus. And the cherry on top is every year he gets an annual raise of $400,000. What the hell? And I'm pretty sure
that
his house is paid for by boosters.
No, yeah. I heard something about that. The boosters pay for his house. They pay for like 5 of his cars. They pay for like the country club his wife goes in. He has an annual stipend of just like groceries and things. That's all in his pocket. That's $7.5 million plus the $400,000. That's in his pocket. Everything else is paid for.
The $1 million question is, how come we can't pay college athletes asterisk football and basketball only because those are only money makers if you do research? But still, why can't we pay college football and college basketball athletes?
Because it wouldn't be fair. Adam Silver is about to have a meeting, maybe perhaps changing the rule of the one and done, because they know a lot of these athletes, it's not good for the college game, so they might start drafting straight from high school again.
They should.
Which I agree 100%.
It should be.
Baseball does that.
Wasn't it like that before, where you get drafted straight from high school, but if you go to college, you're forced to do 3 years? Or is that football only?
I believe you have to do a certain amount of years
for basketball. Maybe it was two. Maybe it was 2 for basketball. But they should do that, where it's like, okay, you have 2 paths. You either go.
Some of these guys are 16 years old and they get already hooping.
Oh, Zion Williams, is that his name?
Nasty,
disgusting. But that should be the case. It's either you go straight from high school to the league and go for your money, or you have to go Euro or the development league, or you go to college. But if you go to college, you have to do 3 years, and you can be on an accelerated.
2 years.
I would say 3 years, just to create some consistency in the college game, as well as you don't have the whole bullshit of
the 3 years because that's an extra year of injury prone. Or
yeah, but you're wasting space in college.
But they're already wasting 1 year.
Yeah, but if you go for 3 years,
you get an associate's.
You get an associate in 2 years. I feel like in 3 years.
What's a 3? You're not gonna get a bachelor's in 3 years. Are you out of your mind? Especially with
unless you're in a stupid like what are those degrees that they always get? Like sports management or some stupid crap.
I mean, even then, you have to take a certain amount of gen ed credits, and there's like the other 60 credits of your upperclassmen coursework. It's gonna take 3 years for someone who does school just full time. But some of these athletes, think about it, you got 6 a.m. workouts, you got practice after, you have class, and then you got
but they could do summer classes and stuff like that because they don't have to worry about money coming in. If they're getting paid,
you really think these guys that are want to go to the league, they're not going to do it? Get out of here.
I feel like there's a way to get them paid for sure and get them to stay in college longer.
I would love for that, especially that the NCAA I think is super corrupt. They're banking millions off these kids,
and then all these coaches are
all their jerseys, and then they find some I think it was lacrosse or soccer or some girl because she used the hose of the college facilities to wash her car, therefore she was getting free water, so she got in trouble for that.
No.
Yes. They are so strict.
What are you going to do? Suspend a kid for washing his car? Or her car? I'm sorry.
And I buy lunch for like friends all the time. Like, look, I bought the Pizza Hut for us the other day.
Yeah.
Love stuffed crust pizza with the Hut favorite.
I've never had a Pizza Hut again.
It's okay if you had diarrhea.
Twice.
So good. Either way, I bought pizza for everybody. But NCAA rules through clearinghouse, that would be a violation.
Oh, if you work for the school?
No, period. If they accept...
Oh, you're right. You can't accept a gift.
You can't accept gifts.
You can't accept
so
gifts.
It's like, well, how about Christmas? I mean, I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, there's certain stipulations and...
Crazy.
I think it can't pass a certain monetary
Crazy that a lot of these, even assistant coaches are making millions. And...
Oh, yeah.
Players
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So, and they make it off like, whenever your top athlete is wearing a number 10 jersey, you're buying that jersey for that athlete.
I
think they should have a fund for like jersey sales. Like if you're wearing number 10 for, let's say, the Gators, right? For the next 3 years.
and the Gators
percentage.
jersey,
Royalties.
get 10%.
Well, that's the whole
Same thing with Madden. The NCAA.
That's why they stopped making NCAA games because the whole jersey issue. They didn't want to sign off the rights and they couldn't agree.
They should have put it in a fund, and then once they leave college, boom,
1,000%. I don't know how we're gonna do next episode. I'm actually taking off to the Netherlands for 10 days.
Oh, I can't do it.
Fasha, can you hear me?
I can't do another accent.
That's the only one that I know from Austin Powers.
So, are you gonna try? Never mind. I know you're gonna try all the beautiful cuisine.
Oh, I want.
That includes.
I want to try brownie. I'll be honest with you. I want to try one.
I love brownies.
I want to try brownie, but
and cookies. I love cookies.
No, I've never had a Netherlands brownie before.
Like an arbutina and empanada.
Not quite the same.
Agree, by the way.
Things I'm traveling solo dolo, so I don't want to end up wandering some random street like Eurotrip, where he's in the back alley getting domed from that random lady, and he gets robbed of his fanny pack. I don't want it to happen to me.
Eurotrip's a good movie.
Or even worse, the scene where the dude is sitting with the other twin girl, and they're at the brownie shop eating brownies, and they start tripping out and taking off their shirts.
These are regular brownies. What are you doing? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be super embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there 10 days, walking around.
What are you going to do there?
You know, I haven't planned my itinerary. I was sitting down with a friend, Steph, and we were over lunch. We started planning today.
That's pretty dangerous. Well, hopefully you find a nice 6'7", blonde, blue-eyed girl.
6'7".
Yeah, she'll take control.
As long as I'm taller.
I love you, boy.
As long as I'm taller than her, laying down, I'll be fine. Hey yo, that's a good joke. Don't.
Speaking of jokes, I got two more today, guys.
Oh, here we go.
So, why were the Dark Ages so dark?
Because there's no light.
Because there was a lot of nights.
Bad joke. Bad joke.
Come on. Nights. Get it?
Hell no.
I don't know. What do you call a Jewish barista?
Oh, Jewish barista.
Hebrews.
Come on. Corny gets it.
You gotta
Corny gets it. I get it.
No, not corny.
That
was good.
I like my joke. That was good. I think that wraps up episode 2. Next week, I might film from Netherlands. Little Skype action. Our first split screen. We don't know yet. If not, we'll tune in 2 weeks. But you just heard What's the Deal? Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to What's the Deal? Hosted by Josh and Joel Ramos. Produced by Elio Miglio. Sponsors?
Possibly you!
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to avoid getting hit with the FOMO. Fear of missing out. See you in the next episode.
Great deal. I think it's going to be a very big success.